everyone, and welcome to the second episode of our South America zoo that we are building. In this episode, we're gonna build for the giant anteater, this beautiful and unique animal from South America. This video will be mostly a speed build. You will see how I create this habitat step by step, and I've carefully chosen some relaxing and classical music tracks so you can have a relaxing moment while we are being creative here, and hopefully you will get some ideas and inspiration for your own builds. Let's dive in. At the end, I will be narrating that part, the last 20 minutes of this video, where we will actually get our giant anteaters and we will have a tour of the habitat. So let's dive in. And voila, here we have the finished habitat and we are in a walking tour. We're a guest. We're actually the first guest in this section, so we have like VIP access. Here we have an educational board that doesn't turn on because right now we don't have power, and that's something that I'm gonna fix in the next episode. But you can see at the entrance we have like this fountain that I built with barriers. We also have this giant anteater sign, and that should be an educational board on the wall, but again, we have no power. That's something that we definitely have to fix in the next episode. But just look at the foliage. I try to make it as close to the Amazon rainforest as possible. We also have some beautiful palm trees, and I really like how these barriers look with the canopies. This empty spot is something that I'm going to fill in the next episode. I noticed that when we were having the tour. So here we have some glass so children can also see the giant anteaters, and we have some decorations, some rocks from the temple pieces and some full rocks, and I just like the overall look. I used the bamboo windows and the walls, some of the built-in barriers and some custom barriers, and over here I am giving the guests like a second alternative for actually seeing the giant anteaters. They can see them from the main gallery, and now we're going to the second alternative, which is like a bit further away. And here we have a floating plant, of course, that happens every single day in a zoo. Plants are just floating in the air, of course. So I'm fixing that right now. You will see me fixing that. Yep, so ignoring that, so let's move on. And here I accidentally clicked on a rock, but and then I will deselect that. Here in the tour you can see that this is a different perspective. Here we have like the termite mound where they will be eating, and people can see them without actually invading their privacy, and that's something that I am focusing on when I'm designing these habitats, just giving the animals as much privacy as possible and also giving guests the opportunity of seeing them up close as much as possible. So over here we have this really dense rainforest. Maybe in the next episodes, now that I'm looking at this, I will add more trees and more foliage. And here at the end we are going to continue building over there, but now we're going to take a detour into the staff area. This is a staff area. I personally do like the staff path. I think it's beautiful. I think it is characteristic of Planet Zoo, so I am planning to use the staff path. And this is like the entrance on the back to the giant anteaters. Over here we go to the staff facilities. This is like a building that I built with the temple ruins and the walls. I decorated it a little bit with the stickers, and we have different facilities like the veterinary clinic, like the staff center, the trade center. So we have all of that here for our staff, and they are close to the giant anteater habitat. Great, so if we go to the explore mode, we can continue moving. At that point, I just left the explore mode. Here we can see inside the facilities, and that's something that I really love about Planet Zoo, that they also focused on that, on actually giving us like facilities that you can look into. Over here, of course, we have some of them that are like black boxes, but others are really detailed on the inside, and I really love that. So now, after we just leave the explore mode, we can see an air view of the zoo, and you can see that it's actually starting to take shape. Remember episode 1 when we started from scratch? Well, now I think it's looking more like the Amazon River. And as we add more to it, I do think it's going to look even better. So stay with me as we build and work on this project. If you want to actually stay tuned on the episodes that I'm publishing, I really appreciate your likes and subscribe to get that notification. So here we are actually starting to get our beautiful anteaters and our staff. Right now I'm hiring the staff. We have the keepers, the caretakers, a mechanic. Yes, you will see me after that calling the mechanic for the power generator, and we also have a veterinarian. Right now I'm not hiring a vendor or an educator, but I will be doing that in the coming episodes. Now I'm filtering the list, looking for a giant anteater. First I'm checking the Zoopedia because I need to check the group size. they live in 1 to 2 individuals, in groups of 1 to 2, 1 female and 1 male. So I will be keeping that in the habitat. Now I am adopting a female called Marta and a male called Daniel. Yep, so we're going to be moving them to the zoo, but actually we're going to be moving them to the quarantine. I like to take them to the quarantine first before I actually bring them into the habitat, because sometimes they have some diseases, some infections that may be caused by other animals. So here I'm moving them. You just select them in the animal storage and you move them to the quarantine. At this point, and if this is something that has ever happened to you, this is how you can fix it. Actually, when I was recording this, I didn't realize that the quarantine didn't have power. You will see that I am trying to see what happens there. So at that time, it didn't have power, so my keeper was just wandering around. The caretaker was also wandering around. So at the end, I decided to add like a power source. Here I am following the keeper and you will see that it is like running in circles. It says that it's bringing the animal to the quarantine, but it's actually not. And if you ever have something like this, it might be because the quarantine doesn't have a power at that moment. So let's just add the power. You will see that I am tracking that with the camera. At the moment I didn't realize it, so I'm gonna fix it in just a few moments. Yes, I just love the animation when they run. It looks so funny. It looks really nice. And I thought it was going to the quarantine, but nope. It just kept running around in circles. So let's just go there. And let's skip to the part where I actually realize that I don't have power and I add the power. Okay, so I will go there. This is a moment when I click on the quarantine and then I realize, there it is, it has no power. So what do? Well, I just get a power generator. That's something that you should check very often as you build in the heat map. You can check that with the heat map as well, but I'm placing here like a power generator next to the staff path. And I'm moving some of the palm trees and the foliage around so it doesn't cover the power generator, the solar panel, like this. Great, so now our quarantine does have power. And I am hiring another caretaker because we have 2 anteaters, and I do think that we do need at least 2 keepers and 2 caretakers per zoo. So I'm just hiring them, I'm pausing the game, and then here I am tracking the caretaker with the camera. Yes, staff camera. And here it is, it's going into quarantine, into this beautiful black box where our animals will go out healthy and recovered if they had any illnesses. If you click on the quarantine, you can see the status of your animals. You can see that Marta is currently being checked in the quarantine, and now we have Daniel, which is already going into the quarantine. Thank you for bringing him. We can see the status, and when it's ready, we will see the status changed. So here I'm just checking some things in the quarantine, and I will be right back when the quarantine is ready. I just need to wait. You will need to wait for a little bit when you take your animals to the quarantine. And you can see that it's actually pouring over there. It's raining cats and dogs. It's, well, I really also love the weather in Planet Zoo. It's like the rain is really realistic, and I love how it bounces off the different surfaces. You can actually see the rock getting wet, and how the gas actually take out the umbrellas. It's just really nice. Over here, while I'm waiting for the quarantine to actually end, I am creating the work zones. That is something that you should also do when you start building your zoos. Actually creating the work zones that you will assign your workers to. Here I am adding all the staff buildings and the giant anteaters to the work zone. So my keepers and my caretakers can actually have access to the habitats. And then I go to the staff panel in the zoo management tool and I select the work zone. The Giant Anteaters always also try to make sure to customize the name of your habitat or your work zone so you know how to choose them in the right places. Great, so we're back into quarantine. And now we do see that Marta and Daniel actually passed the quarantine. They weren't sick, so now we can move them to their habitats. They're beautiful, beautiful, right? So here we just click on the habitat and the move is scheduled. Now, since it's actually raining and I don't want them to have their great entrance in the rain, I am just turning off the weather for now. As just while we are recording, and then of course I will just let nature take its course, but for now I'm going to play God and actually make it stop raining. Now I'm tracking Marta in the camera. Marta, yes. And here I have the camera. I'm tracking this, and in 3, 2, 1, we have our beautiful, beautiful giant anteater. We have Marta and we have Daniel. They're both there. How beautiful they look. Look at them. Just look at them. They look so beautiful, so unique. And you will see that when I place them, there is actually something blocking their movement. And I realized that when I checked the heat map. This is like the camera view when I tried to look at them in more detail, but then I realized that they weren't actually moving. And why weren't they moving? Well, their traversable area was not being detected automatically, or something was actually blocking the traversable area. And you will see that when I check the heat map, I click on one of them, and this is the traversable area that the game was detecting. But then I just thought, hey, maybe this foliage or these rocks are covering the path or are blocking the path. I try to move them to a different area. Like this. So I just deleted that and the traversable area was fixed. I just moved them and somehow this was fixed. You can see that now they can walk through the habitat freely and just do what anteaters do every day. Eating ants, termites, and just being beautiful and unique in South America. And here we have some pictures, some footage of our beautiful giant anteaters. We will be tracking them and seeing them more closely in the upcoming episodes as we build for more animals, but we will also be managing the zoo. So stay tuned for more news on Marta and Daniel. Just look at how unique they are. Look at their shape, their snout, their really long tongue. If you are following the channel, you will also know that we have a series of videos like the Zoopedia podcast, Learning with the Zoopedia. So I will be covering the giant anteaters in one of those series where we will read the Zoopedia and learn more about them together, because there is a lot to learn about them. They have these beautiful massive tails and really long tongues to actually get the termites from their mouths, and they look amazing. Just look at them, they are so unique, and I'm so happy that the Planet Zoo decided to include them in the South America pack. So if you're thinking about actually getting the pack, just look at how beautiful they look. They are totally worth it. Great, so I will leave you with these images of the beautiful giant anteater, and I hope you liked this episode. In the next episode, we will be building for another animal from South America. Stay tuned. I will be sharing more episodes and we will continue building on this soon. So thank you for watching. Have an awesome day, and I will leave you with these images.